Hey everybody. I'm um, having trouble with my health, so I may be kind of weak feeling or sounding. I'm trying to pin the how to come in, and I'm not able to um, get it. I don't understand what is going on. I'm going to try to do it a different way. And let's see. It won't come up paste. You can hear me? Yeah. I'm using my dad's computer, so that's why. Um, Obviously, mine's having trouble. But I cannot get this, the stream um, to let me. I cannot get the pin. Me neither. I don't know shit about it either. I'm pretty bad. Um. Okay, I think I got this now. Finally, there. The link should be in the chat, right? I just wanted to come on. I don't know if anybody's going to come on or not, but I wanted to come on and talk about some hate crimes um, that are just it seems like that it's just getting really bad. Maybe just because we get a lot more news now. I don't know, but it seems like that there's just so much hate going on. Um, this happened today, or this happened. This woman was it's just blows my mind how they keep. But I blame um, I blame Trump. Um, I blame Trump. I blame Trump supporters. I blame. I think that I think that he's just brought out our some of our worst people and gave them just the nerve to just show their face in public and just be who they are. And it's just um, it just blows my mind that we just keep on um, and we just keep letting these people just keep on doing this. It just and so here's a I've got something here I was going to play. Tom Hartman and um, let me see if I can get this on here. Hi, Miss Amon. Hi, Big Bay Mama. Um, I don't even know if I remember how to do this.
Observations on the Republican and right-wing media hate virus. This starts out with this story, this just absolutely tragic story. A young woman and her two children, a son who was 7 and her daughter who was 3 years old, were in the pool. She was by the pool, and the two kids were in the shallow end of the pool, safely in the shallow end of the pool, at their apartment building in Texas. And she was Muslim, so she was wearing a very modest swimsuit and a hijab, which infuriated Elizabeth Wolfe, a 42-year-old white Christian woman who saw them and began loudly berating the young woman. Actually, I don't know if she's Christian or not. Anyhow, she began loudly berating the young woman, using racial slurs to basically tell her to go back where she came from. This woman is a U.S. citizen. And then Wolfe jumps into the pool and grabs the two little kids and tries to drag them into the deep part of the pool to drown them. Mom jumps in, grabs the 7-year-old, who now has been scratched by Wolfe's fingernails. But Wolfe gets away and drags the 3-year-old into the deep part of the pool, and Mom is screaming, "Somebody help. She's trying to kill my baby. She's killing my baby." And Wolfe is holding this 3-year-old's head underwater, and the little girl is drowning. An African-American man nearby, there were several observers just watching, and an African-American man jumped into the pool and rescued the 3-year-old. And the police came, and as they were handcuffing Wolfe, she yells at the arresting police officer. She says, "Tell her I will kill her and I will kill her whole family." This is hate. And that little girl is now probably scarred for life. She has post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, so badly that she's...
Okay. Yes, this happened. There's a lot of it on. I'm gonna find the news story of it too. Tom. First of all, Tom. I don't know why he said she was a Christian if he didn't know she was a Christian. I mean, that he probably shouldn't have done that. And I don't know if she is or not. She's from Texas, so it's probably pretty easy to assume that she might be, but that doesn't. I would say she's not actually a very religious person at all. I try to think of a person who is what I consider a Christian as a good person. I'm sorry. I mean, I know that's probably not goes, but my idea of a Christian is a good person. What I was raised to believe was a good person. So I don't think that that this is, I don't think that saying that you're a Christian should mean that you hate people. Now let me see if I can find this. Because I found this on the other. Okay. Okay.
To drown a 3-year-old Palestinian Muslim child. Again, I say, look at your life. 42-year-old Texas woman Elizabeth Wolfe arrested, accused of trying to drown a 3-year-old Palestinian Muslim child in an apartment complex pool. Happened last month after she questioned, as if she has a right, the child's mother about their country of origin. It's according to officials. Wolfe was arrested for public intoxication while attempting to leave the scene, charged with attempted capital murder and injury to a child. Police do not believe she knew the victim's mother before the May 19 incident. Police responded to a disturbance between two women at an Euless apartment complex pool, May 19th, 5:44 p.m. Witnesses reported an intoxicated wolf had tried to drown a child and argued with the child's mother.
With millions watching,
Okay, now this is a 3-year-old. I mean, a 3-year-old. This woman tries to drown a 3-year-old because the mother is wearing a hijab. I mean, first of all, these people are United States citizens. This woman and her children are United States citizens. They are not. They are not immigrants. They are not here illegally. They are United States citizens. They have every right to be here as much as that wolf woman. And the fact that she would go and ask them why or where they came from, or to go back to where they came from, or I mean, it's it's just like you know who do you think you are? Why do you think that this country belongs to you? You're a they. You're not a they, are you? Are you attacking people, Missy Maud? I mean, I don't know if you're attacking anyone. We're not talking about Christians. I mean, these are not just Christians. These are not just Christians that are doing this. In fact, I don't even know if that woman is a Christian. That's what I said. I don't know if that woman is a Christian. There's a good chance that she is. She's in Texas. But okay, this is not about religion. This is really wasn't even determined to be about religion. This is not what I wasn't even going there with the religion. But I mean, none of the religions teach tolerance. It isn't just Christianity. It's all the Abrahamic religions. I would say that even the Jews right now, with what they're doing in Palestine, are not showing a lot of tolerance for other people. But it's just there's hate. It's a hate. No matter what it causes, no matter what the underlying issue of it is, whether it's religion, whether it's skin color, whether it's culture, whatever it is, whether it's national beliefs. We as humans are so bad about others, and we see it in our lesser, our the other apes. We see it in the chimps. Okay, a chimpanzee group can get so big that eventually it has to split up, that it can no longer remain one troop. It will split up. All right. Once they split up, and you take two male chimps that were once friends in this one troop, and they get divided into two different troops, they will actually fight and kill each other once they go into that other troop. Once they become an opposite troop, separate from each other, they will hunt and kill each other. And okay, but Missy Maud, I'll just say that the Bible is a whole bunch of books. It's a library. It's not a story. It's not a single story that was put together over time. It's not just a story. It's not just one story. And the Bible, most of the Bible, the biggest part of the Bible was written by the Hebrews, and they do not believe that Jesus was sacrificed by God to save us, literally. So, but I mean, that's only a Christian story. But the book is not just one book. It's not just it's got like hundreds of authors. It's got but anyway, we don't want you to hate yourself. Okay, we love you, Miss Maud. We love you very much, and we don't want you to hate yourself. I don't think that you are out hurting people. I don't think that you are a bigot. I don't. And I think that if people think you are, then they are probably judging you based on stereotypes. Okay? I'm not going to call him father. He's not my father or my creator. Anyway, so let's get back to the hate. Okay, this woman decides to try to drown a 3-year-old child. A 3-year-old. I mean, we're talking a kid barely out of diapers. Instead of attacking the mother, she attacks the children. I don't know. I don't understand what's wrong with people's brains anymore. My father was cruel, unlike that jerk in the Old Testament. Okay, Ms. Mott, we love you. Everything. You're very anti-science, though. You're very not aware of science. You're Kent. You're giving Kent Hovind talking points, which are really not all that good, actually. But we love you and everything. But yeah, Kent Hovind talking points are terrible at refuting science. Anyway, so this woman tries to drown a 3-year-old child. I mean, that is beyond disgusting. It is beyond inhumane. What has happened to our country? I mean, what has happened to the people who live here? We know what science is, Miss Mob. We understand. We understand science. We really do. Big Bad Mama is a a geologist. That is a science. It is a science. It is a major science. But let's talk about hate. Now, Miss Maud, I will say this: you live in one of the states down there where the hate is prevalent, where the rise in hate crimes was significant, and I just do you see that? Do you see it around you? Does it? Do you feel the effects of it? I mean, I know like Big Bad Mama lives in a place probably where there are some crime, yes, but I'd say the hate crimes are probably less an issue in California than other places. Um, because California, most of it is known for being somewhat tolerant of people. And no, if you say 2 + 2 = 5, now that's a Hovind talking point because Hovind doesn't talk science. But so do you see hate crimes in Florida? Um, I mean, I don't want to talk about Ken Hovind in this thing, but he doesn't know anything about science. He's terrible. I mean, he's terrible. It would be so nice if somebody would try to refute. Um, Hate is not everywhere, though. Not really. There's some places where hate is more prevalent than others. Um, Most of the time, the more culturally diverse that a place is, that a civilization is, the less you will have of that. Like, and then of course, if you have people who are just no, okay, we're not talking about Mark. We're talking about hate about other, we have there's hatred towards black people. There's hatred towards um, there's hatred towards LGBTQ people. There's hatred towards um, Muslims. There's even hatred towards Christians. There's hatred towards Jews. We even have a name for that, anti-Semitism. In fact, hatreds of Jews has happened so regularly throughout history that it did earn its own name. So, okay, yeah, and we have a lot of
Golly. Sorry. I couldn't help it. Shut up.
sorry, my friend's here and she just doesn't really realize that she's on stream making with her talking and stuff. Somebody come in. The stream, the link was pinned in chat somewhere. I didn't know how to pin it to the top, but somebody come in and join me and don't make me sit here and talk to myself the whole time. um, it's like anyway, let's go back and we'll listen to what Tom says is the
she issued the press was asking her for a statement. She issued a statement. She said, my daughter is traumatized. Whenever I open the apartment door, she runs away and hides, telling me she's afraid the lady will come and immerse her head in water again. Also, my husband's employment is jeopardized because he now has to leave work to accompany me and our 4 kids whenever we have appointments, and errands to run. You know, hate has always been part of the American landscape. But interestingly, from 1990 or 91 was the year that the FBI began compiling statistics on hate crimes. It was a brand new thing.
Hold on, Big Bad Mama.
This was, during the George Herbert Walker Bush administration. And, looking at hate and hate crimes seemed like a good idea. And so the FBI began compiling those statistics. And with the exception of 1995, when for the first couple months after the Oklahoma City bombing, everybody in America thought it was Muslim terrorists. And 2001, when 9/11 happened, with the exception of those 2 years, there has been a steady decline in hate crimes from 1990 till 2015. A steady decline, a rather dramatic one, in fact, with 2 little bumps in the middle. And then Donald Trump jumps on the scene in 2015 in the Republican primary, comes down his escalator and begins his campaign with hate. Hating on Mexicans.
Okay. All right. We got Missing Maud and Big Bad Mama on stage with us. Hello.
Hi.
Hold on 1 second.
Hey. What's wrong?
Can you hear me?
I hear you fine.
Good.
And I heard Missing Maud say 1 second. And Speed says, I'm not intelligent enough to come on.
Come on, Speed.
Speed. Do I sound very intelligent to you?
Yes.
Sorry.
Big Bad Mama, yes.
Can you hear me?
I hear you, babe. How are you?
Good. I'm good. Sorry.
The
My daughter
mod.
just knocked on the door as soon as you started talking to me.
Oh, I like you're the mod today. Just the mod.
Yeah, I changed it like a week or so ago, and then Aiden came in and his was the den. I thought that was funny. So how are you guys today?
I'm good.
Good.
Well, I'm not good. I'm still pretty sick, but so BBM is there? Do y'all have a lot of hate crime in California?
I don't think we have near as much as in other places. I mean, there are rural parts of California, especially in the north, that I would imagine there's some hate crimes up in the very northern part of the state, but not really down here. I mean, there is, of course, but it's not like,
See,
I've heard other places.
I used to haul cattle out of there because there's some big cattle ranches up north in California.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you know that. And the cattle ranchers that were up north were very right wingy.
Yeah.
They were very anti everybody else, and
they've even wanted to break off from the state, some of the big counties up there, because of just to get away from what they view as the liberals. And
yeah, they want to separate. And I've heard there's a lot of talk of that right now. And here's the thing that is if they broke off and started their own state, they automatically get 1 representative in Congress, and they get 2 senators.
Right.
Which would add to, in Congress, we already are the right is already represented in Congress, because of the senator deal.
Yeah.
Because many states that don't have as many people have 2 senators, just as many as the states that are like well populated.
Yeah, Montana gets as many senators as, say, New York or California.
So the right is already overrepresented in the Senate of the United States.
And the Electoral College.
Unless we change the Constitution, it will always be that way.
No,
Right.
We shouldn't do that, though.
Well,
do that.
I don't think we can.
We change the Constitution all the time with amendments, right?
Yeah,
but
but we
doesn't
couldn't
that like
change.
bend the rules?
We
Doesn't
couldn't
literally
change
them.
Well, we couldn't change this with an amendment, though. This was, we couldn't. The Senate is not an amendment thing. We would have to
True.
rewrite
That's true.
the whole government to do away with the Senate. The Senate we're pretty much stuck with the fact that it's always going to be.
Can you guys
the
hear
right.
that? The thunder, the background?
I can't.
Okay, good. Because it is like coming down outside. Like I'm afraid my power might go out again. So if it does, I'll be in the chat though.
I mean, they wrote that with all the original colonies, the original states, which were relatively more equal than they are now. So, yeah, I agree. The Senate is just antiquated. The Electoral College should be demolished.
Yes.
It favors rural areas as opposed to a rural vote is worth a lot more than an urban vote, for example.
I just finished the book, White Supremacy. Let's see, what was it? I just finished it, and it goes over all.
More now on that breaking news out of Houston. Bail has been.
My phone, I hit the wrong thing. Is called The Hidden, or with it, White Rural Rage, and it talks about that. It's about how much
what's considered white though.
What
are we considering white? Like, are these just
white is anybody
people?
European? Yes, white rural rage. I mean,
because that's a lot of people on Earth are white skin color, right? Like, just because they're bad, that doesn't mean the whole white race is racist.
Not really. I mean, we're actually the minority. White people are a minority in the world. And
you're talking about America too.
Yeah, we're talking about America right now. But the thing about it is that white people are a minority in the world. We know that, and we are becoming a smaller
because some
minority.
racist guy says something now, it's limited things I can say, and I'm not racist. Right? Like, I just cannot stand that whole thing just to label everything racist.
I don't understand what your point is, Miss Ma. But what I'm talking about, we're talking about the legislating stuff and everything and hate crime, and this has nothing to do with you personally. This has got to do with it. I mean, these are figures that have been well documented for years, and there is white people are a minority in the world. We are not a minority in the United States right now yet, but we will be shortly. We actually will be. I think I'm not sure what year that white people are supposed to become the minority in the United States, but it is not too far off in the future.
So what's the book? What is the conclusion of the book? That book that you were citing,
The White Rural Rage.
Yeah.
Well, like I finished. I've been reading a lot of books on that. I haven't finished that one yet, but it goes into a lot of the. it goes over a lot of the legislating deal. It goes into how the Senate and everything is, and it talks about how they're wanting to split off and make. And PC even mentioned Louisiana. So they did win the right to do that, PC, because I saw something about that last month about that Louisiana from Baton Rouge were going to be able to split off, and because they don't want their kids to go to school with in the same school district, and so they were going to split off. And so I guess they did win that right. I think it was going up in front of maybe the Louisiana Supreme Court.
And they can put the 10 Commandments. They have to put the 10 Commandments up now in the classrooms.
That's that. And
Wait,
the same
what?
week that they did that,
Who's
they
doing that?
also voted to refuse to accept the money, for the EBT for their students. Like, the federal government was going to give out money to children for summer food. For like they get here in Kentucky. Kentucky accepted it. Like they on their food stamp card or whatever, but it's not. You don't have to be a food stamp recipient. All you have to do is be a student. So my daughter has a student stamp card, for student food card. Of course, she graduated, so she doesn't get any more now. But until she graduated, she got money added to that every time that they added money onto this program. And Kentucky always accepted ours, thank goodness. And
Wait, I didn't hear that part though. Who's putting up the 10 Commandments in a school?
Louisiana just voted to
You have
put
not
up the
done
10 Commandments. It has to be a certain size. It has to be a
Yes.
large placard
Yes.
of the 10 Commandments in every classroom. And of course, it's being fought by certain organizations, and will probably end up in, court after court. But that's what's happened in the last couple of weeks. It's just wrong. I mean,
Yeah, I don't agree with that, because if our stuff can be in there, then everyone's stuff should be in there. I kind of agree with the sadly with the Satanic Temple on that one. Yeah. What? Oh. Sorry, my daughter's leaving. She was telling me she was leaving, but
that's what we
you
love
heard
about you,
it.
Miss
Maud
Maud,
agrees with the
is that you
Satanic Temple.
understand.
I do, because
I know.
I feel like the government should be equal ground, right? Like in schools and stuff like that should be equal ground. Like leave your religion and stuff at home and just teach them stuff that they need to know for their future, and how to read and how to write and how to do, I don't know exactly what you
Evolution.
learn there, but no, not that. But seriously, I don't agree with that, because now you're just going to enrage these guys. They're coming for your 10 Commandments.
As they should. There's a separation of church and state, and the school is part of the state.
Yeah. And I know how the Christians feel when they see like a Baphomet statue somewhere in a government building. It's like, get it out of here, Like, we should just all agree, and stay away from that, Stand out on the street corner and preach the gospel or something. Like, you don't need to force this stuff on people, I don't know.
And most people do agree with that. It's the extreme right-wing fundamentalists that are pushing that.
Ms. Maud, here's the
yeah.
And that they were so bad at defending it. It was really pitiful. It was really bad.
Because I mean, at what point do they even know what they're doing, or did they just push that because somebody gave them so much money, or what are they doing?
This is the woman that co-authored the bill. She is a congressman from Louisiana.
Here's the problem. Sorry.
Again.
But there are historical
Wait a
documents.
minute, I've got to rewind it. So this is a
Critics of a new law say that
Louisiana schools, the line between church and state is getting blurred. The Republican governor just signed a law making Louisiana the first state
Watch
in the
this little, see
country
that little girl
to
right there?
require the 10 Commandments be
You see the
posted
little girl
in every
standing
public
in the
school
picture?
classroom, from kindergarten
Mhm.
through
She faints.
state-funded universities. The law specifies that's at least 11 by 14 inches and in, quote, large, easily readable font. Opponents have
Okay. Did you see that little girl that was in the picture there for a while?
Yeah.
I don't think I
She
did.
okay, just she ends up fainting. Like she
Oh
ends up
no.
like I know. It's like I mean, sometimes the weirdest things happen and stuff.
She ends
And
up what?
fainting. She faints. This little girl
Oh,
faints. Let me go back and I'll go back and rewind it. And you look in the picture, and
okay.
you can't see my thing, can you?
No, wait. No, I don't see anything.
I've zoomed in. I can.
Okay. I just because it's there's a little girl that's like she's in the center.
She'll see.
Anyway,
He'll see her because she was pretty obvious to me, like the way
Yeah.
she was.
she ends up
staring at the point.
fainting. She ends up fainting, like during this signing. Of
You're
these
roboting, Robin.
10 Commandments.
now
I don't.
Republican governor just signed a law making Louisiana the first state in the
Got
country
long black hair.
to require the 10 Commandments
right.
be posted
Got
in
it.
every public school classroom, from kindergarten through
She ended up
state-funded
that girl
universities.
fainted.
The law specifies the commandments must be displayed on a poster or framed
Like
document
during
that's at least
signing.
11 by 14 inches and in, quote, large, easily readable font. Opponents have now vowed to sue, and at least one high school teacher is saying he will defy that law, calling it nonsense.
It's just foolish legislation. I mean, what's going to happen? A third grader's going to walk in a classroom and see "Thou shalt not commit adultery" on the wall and say, well, you know, I was really planning on committing adultery today, but since I read that on the wall, now I'm not going to do it. It's just nonsense. We have real issues. And
Don't commit adultery. Just be a
Joining me now
concubine.
to discuss is one of the co-authors of House Bill 7.
Well, okay, Louisiana is 47th in education. They lead the country in they're like 1 or 2 in child poverty.
Oh,
I mean, they have terrible statistics. I'm sure Crystal can fill us in on how terrible Louisiana actually is.
Well, the worst
One,
state.
Louisiana
Oh,
State
sorry.
Representative Lauren Ventrella. State Representative, thank you so much for being with us to share your perspective. Does the bill specify what kind of penalty teachers like that will face?
There's not any penalty under the law. It's just a requirement that the classrooms should post what we know and believe is the moral fabric, the moral fiber of our country that should be on public display, that the school children should have the opportunity to read and be exposed to.
So when you talk about the moral fiber of our country, you realize that this country is an amalgamation of cultures, right? And different faiths. And even within Christianity, people don't interpret those commandments the same way.
Well, what's important about this bill and what's important to remember about this country is that whether we like it or not, Moses is in the Supreme Court of the United States. The 10 Commandments are in the Supreme Court of the United States.
God.
Moses is on the law in Congress. This is part and ingrained in our nation. This is a historical document that's important in Louisiana because in Louisiana, we believe in faith, family, and freedom.
Okay, somebody forgot to tell her that Moses.
I agree with her
was not a
on that.
Yeah, but Moses.
She
was
sounds
not
like
a-
Marjorie.
I mean, even,
She sounds like
That's
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
That's kind of crazy to say that he
Even-
wasn't a real
listen,
person
Maud,
when
even
lots
the-
of people.
even the Jews who Moses supposedly was one of, who is
Well, the
he is a
Jews are real.
historical
I mean, can't
person.
deny them.
And I know even they do not consider him real.
That's
even
proof right
the
there.
Jews do
that
not
the
believe
Jews
that
are
Moses was a
absolutely,
real person. They do not
well,
believe Moses was a real person.
He was a
I mean,
mythological character. I mean, everybody knows that.
the
Every
Jews were
Bible
too.
scholar, unless
yeah.
they've been indoctrinated in Christianity, recognizes that
I wasn't
Moses was
indoctrinated.
a mythological character.
I wasn't
Yes, Moses
indoctrinated
was
at
not a
all.
real person. Moses was not real.
That's you
I
guys'
mean,
No,
opinion.
no, I'm talking
And
about
you're
Bible
saying it like a
no, it's
scholars.
our
fact.
opinion.
I don't care
It's
about
not our
Bible
opinion.
scholars. I'm saying you're saying,
I
oh,
don't have.
unless you were indoctrinated in Christianity, that's not true. I believe Moses was
No,
real.
no,
I don't have an opinion on Moses.
let me say something here. I
You
said
just said
Bible
he's not real.
scholars that
Yeah.
are indoctrinated in Christianity, as opposed to Bible scholars that are coming at it from a perspective outside of religion and looking at it honestly.
You guys are talking about it, stating it like it's a fact that he wasn't real.
It
and
is a
that's
fact.
It is not a fact.
Mrs.
You
Mott,
cannot prove that he
Mrs.
wasn't
Mott,
real.
The people,
like you
the
can't
people
do
who
that.
actually wrote these books.
I don't care.
These
like,
are Hebrews that
it's
wrote
just
these
ridiculous.
books. These books are Jewish people.
I don't
They
care
wrote
about
these
any of
books.
that because most of the
Their
time
people wrote these books.
you're wrong. I'm just
No,
saying.
I'm not wrong.
You just don't, and it's fine. You don't have to like it, but you shouldn't state it as a fact, like you guys know for a fact, and you could pinpoint the person that made Moses up.
The reason I state it as a fact is because none of the things that are stated in Exodus actually have any historical basis. They're not present in Egyptian records. There's no record. Wait a minute. Are you interrupting me?
Yeah,
I'm talking right now. I'm talking right now. There's no archaeological evidence in the Sinai that 2 million plus Jews crossed the Sinai. The Hebrews were a people from the area of Israel, descended from the Canaanites. They did not come from Egypt in mass. I mean, there's no evidence of that.
And see, that's the thing, is that you literally deny the actual evidence of the chariots in the bottom of the Red Sea. I mean, there is no way to argue with you about it, because if you're going to deny the actual fact, like, I mean, you can just go over there. Just go over there. Go over there. That's all you got to do. And it's
all
there.
right.
Who left it there?
Ms. Mott,
I'm going next week.
Okay, I would love for you to do that, actually.
What's the evidence?
Just Google it. Google it like you guys say. Just Google it.
No. I want to know what the evidence is.
You can't prove it didn't happen. You can't prove it didn't happen. That's for sure.
That doesn't matter.
And you guys
I
are stating it
prove
like it's a
that
fact.
aliens.
You guys are two people that have never been over there. Trying
Miss
to state
Mott,
it like it's a fact.
Miss Mott,
And it's like,
I cannot prove. I cannot prove that the abominable snowman is not at the top of the North Pole, but that does not mean that
I'm not saying he's not
there's a
real.
good chance that he is there. Okay,
I'm not saying he's not real.
So, what is the evidence that
It's just like whenever I say that evolution is stupid, you guys get offended. Calling my religion a fairy tale.
I don't get
is
offended by you calling evolution stupid, because I know that you don't know enough about evolution to even know what you're talking about.
I just said earlier. See, that's the thing, is you guys say that, but it's
you
like
don't.
It's super. Oh, and if I say anything, it's like, oh, Kent Hovind, you learned that from Kent Hovind. It's like, no, 2 + 2 was 4 before Kent Hovind was born.
But Kent Hovind doesn't say 2 + 2 is 4.
Yeah, he does.
Kent Hovind doesn't
say
what Kent Hovind says is not right. He's not correct. He does
Can
not.
we keep watching the video?
Yes. Ms. Mott, we know you believe in Christianity. That does not make it true.
Safe word.
And that is why I voted in favor of this bill.
Sure, but you also recognize that the Constitution of this country, its founding document, doesn't include the word God or Jesus or Christianity. And that's for a reason, because the founding fathers founded this country as a secular one. You don't
Boris,
see that?
I bet bet you CNN pays you a lot of money, and I bet you got a bunch
What
of
does
dollar
this have
bills
to
in
do
that
with
wallet.
the network that I work for or what I'm getting paid? Don't make this about that. Answer the question. Why did the founding fathers not include God in the Constitution if they wanted this country to be the way that you see it?
Let me finish my statement. And your
Answer the
wallet, I bet you
question
got
and
a
don't
dollar.
make this about me.
In God we trust. We'll make it about me. I got a dollar bill in my wallet.
is
In
bad.
God we trust is written on that dollar. It is not forcing anybody to believe one viewpoint. It's
Anybody know
Look bad.
when in God we trust? Does anybody know when in God we trust was put on the money?
Wasn't it like the 30s or 40s or 50s, something like that?
Actually, during the Civil War, there was a law passed. There was a person, a Christian nationalist who have always existed, who wanted it done. And during the Civil War, when nobody was really paying attention, he passed a law that had it put on to the money. Yeah. And he had it put on to the silver money, the change or whatever. And
I mean, this is a bad argument she's making.
yeah, it's really bad.
This is making us, all of us Christians, look bad. But
yes.
I'm going to make a point off of this. She should not be doing this, right? Like, she's taking personal shots at this guy. He's just doing his job. Love you.
Yes.
Have fun. Sorry, my daughter's leaving. But now I lost my point.
You said she should not be doing this. She's taking shots at the guy.
Do you think some guy, okay, because think about how crazy this sounds, even to me, for them to actually have pulled this off and gotten this done. This woman is pretty. That's why. And she doesn't make any sense. She has no arguments against anything he's saying. And plus, it looked like to me it was the first time she'd ever heard this stuff. I mean, how are you not prepared for this guy to say, hey, there's other religions out there? This is why
this is a Congress.
She should not be doing this. A man should be doing this kind of stuff, right? And no offense to anybody out there.
Well, nobody should be doing this kind of stuff.
I mean, play it again and look how dumbfounded she is when he starts giving her totally freaking, very obvious rebuttals to all this stuff. Stuff that I've heard 1,000 times.
Miss and Maud's sexist views do not represent the views of this channel. Just so you know.
I'm not sexist. I think women are very important, and we run pretty much everything. Because if we couldn't do it with our looks, we could just do it within every other way.
But this woman is this woman is a elected representative,
right?
State representative.
Where?
Of state Louisiana.
There you go.
Is in the state legislation.
You guys just said it's the worst state in America, didn't you?
Yes.
Thank you.
But she's probably because there's a lot of poor people.
I dropped my mic earlier.
And a lot of religious people.
Oh, okay. We're gonna blame it on that now.
Well, it's the 10 command. It's putting the 10 commandments up in the classroom.
I know that's the thing. It's wrong. It's wrong. But if it, never mind.
Religion ties into it. I mean,
do it just as long as you pretend like you like me.
And they refused. They refused the money to feed the kids over the summer, though. They refused the money to feed the kids over the summer. So the state of Louisiana decides to hang the 10 Commandments up in the schoolroom. Okay. This is a school. These are school systems that are already poor. The funding is poor. The teachers probably buy their own supplies. In Kentucky, the teachers buy their own supplies. So I'm sure they do in Louisiana. And so they're going to spend money to hang these 10 Commandments up there. But they refuse federal money to feed their children.
I'm not. I just want to make it clear. I'm not saying women are stupid because I'm a woman
Reference
and
on the
I'm
wall.
not educated. I'm not educated. I'm not. I was really bad in school and didn't pay attention. But I'm not stupid, and I don't think this lady is stupid either. I just think that we as women are highly emotional, and we look at things a lot different. And this is silly. I mean, why would she make a personal shot at the guy? It's because no one has ever came against her on it on any of this.
Well, it's because she doesn't
You
have any
realize that
answers to his
every war,
questions.
Hey, just watch it again and keep
you
in
do
mind what I
realize
said
that
later.
every war that was ever been started was started by men, right?
Well, yeah,
on that
but war is
women are
necessary
emotional
for
thing.
peace, right? Like you
Okay,
have to
not
have
all,
war to
not
have peace.
most wars have been started over emotional things, and men started them. So
A lot of wars weren't
I don't think
necessary.
women are any
Okay.
more emotional than men.
Oh yeah, I mean I do.
Yeah,
I mean
yeah.
think about like just that. Just
For
think about me.
students to read and interpret it if they choose.
But fundamentally, you understand that there's a separation between church and state, and that if you're a student at a school, say you're Muslim or Hindu or atheist, having that on the wall, doesn't that endorse a specific set of beliefs?
Absolutely not. It is a historical document. Again,
But
the
there are
laws in
historical
this nation-
documents. There are historical documents that actually this law authorizes to be displayed in classrooms, like the Mayflower Compact, the Declaration of Independence, and others. But this one is specifically religious, and there's a difference there. I mean, that seems pretty clear that there's a difference between a random historical document and one that endorses a very specific view of a very specific denomination.
Can you pause it for a second, Robin?
I don't agree with you that this is a random historical document. This is a
I didn't say
very
it was random, but
Can you pause it?
Others.
This is a
There, go ahead.
Yeah, hold on.
This is a very valuable document. Look,
So the difference between the
this
historical
nation has gotten out of hand with
Drink, sorry.
the difference between the historical documents he mentioned, the Mayflower Compact, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, those are historical documents for the United States, for the formation of the United States of America. Not the Ten Commandments is something completely different. If the Ten Commandments is one culture's laws, and it's not even the complete Ten Commandments. I mean, it's not even the complete commandments because it doesn't include the other things that were part of the original Ten Commandments in the Bible. But you could do the laws of Hammurabi or different codes of law from other cultures, and it would be just as valid as the Ten Commandments.
There's three, actually, in the Bible, there's three sets of There's three sets of Ten Commandments in the Bible. There's not just one set. There's three different sets that are called that are Ten Commandments, and one of them has that you. No, there's they don't have the Catholic one don't have the thing, but this is long before. I'm talking about the Hebrews. There's
like
one
600 and something.
Yeah, there's 613
Yeah.
of the Mosaic laws, and you cannot. But like, there's one of them where you can't boil a kid in its mother's milk.
Yeah, baby
That's
goat.
one of the commandments.
You can't beat your slaves to death another one of them?
I don't think that.
Well,
I
yeah,
don't think that's one of.
that's a
That's
pretty
not
good
one
one,
of
isn't it?
That's in
not one of the-
Exodus
that's not one of
21.
The Ten Commandments.
It should be a rule. It should be a rule. Back in them days, it was normal to have slaves, and you shouldn't be allowed to beat them to death. I don't see anything wrong
Yeah,
with
but
that.
you could beat them almost to death. That was the thing about it, is you could beat them, and if they didn't die in 2 or 3 days or whatever, then it was okay.
Well, I mean, what do you want me? What do you want me to answer for that? I can't answer for that. I don't know.
You want that in the classroom?
But slaves were seen as property, just like women have been.
Yeah.
We don't do that anymore.
Well,
So
we're
we should just
going.
forget about
They're
it.
trying to get us back there.
Because I mean, I don't agree with this lady. So I highly doubt that's going to go everywhere. But the Satanic Temple will take them down. That's what they do. So
Well,
they'll
we
come-
have the
it'll
thing
come
about
around.
this is we have a court though that could care less about. I mean, I can show you a speech that Alito gave in
Well, I mean,
at
you were
Notre
just saying to
Dame,
change the
where
Constitution, and that is
where
a
he
bad
talks about
that's
but
bad
they can,
news.
well, I mean, they can read it however they want to, though. No, they're up there doing whatever they want to do anyway, and
That's
flipping
what the
us
whole
the
government
bird.
is about, is to keep those rules
Well, but
and to make
we
sure that
can't.
everybody
The
has to keep them
Supreme
and it's
Court has
fair.
nobody over them. The Supreme Court has no ethics guiding them. They have no rules over them.
Well, how many are there?
There's 9
Oh,
justices.
see, I don't know anything about that stuff. What do they do? Are they the ones that like make the ultimate decisions or something?
Pretty much, yeah. The Supreme Court? You don't know what
Yeah.
the Supreme Court does?
I don't. I know that sounds really bad, right? I mean, I know
No, it
I know
doesn't
what
sound
they
bad.
are. I mean, I've heard about them like in the news and stuff like that when all that when controversy is going on, but I don't know like the details about how that
So,
I
works.
mean,
Maud, there's 3 parts of the government. There's the judicial, which is the Supreme Court. There's the executive, which is the president. And there's the legislative, which is Congress, both Senate and House of Representatives. Those are the 3 branches of the federal government
Oh, okay. And they fight with each other all the time?
all the time.
Jeez.
they have checks, and they're supposed to. They all supposed to have equal power,
That's what I was about to ask too.
and they're supposed to be they're supposed to complete checks and balances on each other.
Well, it's a good thing they don't get along because then they would take over, right?
Okay, the Congress is supposed to write legislation. Congress is the one who is supposed to appropriate money to programs. They write laws. They write legislation. The president, his job is actually to ensure that the laws that Congress writes are followed. That's
Okay, so
why
he's
when
like
people
overseer.
say that Biden should shut down the border, they are wrong, because Biden is supposed to follow the law as it is written on the immigration and the border. Congress is supposed to write a law about the border, and then Biden is supposed to make sure that that border law is followed. Biden does not have the right, as president, to write any laws or to change any laws. And
Is there
then,
anything in the Constitution about the borders? I don't know.
yeah, we had unlimited immigration at the beginning of this country.
Oh,
okay. I mean, think about it. We didn't have anybody here.
well, I mean, I don't know. They were pretty smart back then, so I think they would have planned ahead, but I don't know.
They were fairly intelligent men. They all of them
Very intelligent. They didn't have TV.
They didn't have TV. Well, they were educated. Most of them. Most of the
Makes you dumb,
founders
pretty
were
much.
educated. They were highly educated.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not that I don't know. I just think I actually think that's a good system.
Miss Maud, if you
Like
you're very smart, and if you were educated, you could go a long way. I mean,
Yeah.
not being educated is just a lack of not educating yourself on things. That's
Well, it's
not
my
nothing
parents'
to do.
fault.
It's not stuff that you should know just by being born.
Because I thought
Yeah.
school was just to be annoying. I thought
Yes.
it was like, this is annoying. I don't want to do this.
And you're
It's
not
like if my
dumb.
parents
I mean,
would
you
have
could learn anything
made
you
me.
wanted to. You could learn anything you wanted to. You are
I wish
very
my parents
intelligent.
would have whipped me or spanked or whatever you say.
Yeah, but you
Give me
still
a
can
stern
learn
no.
whatever you can. Now it's up to you to learn
Well,
whatever
But
you
see,
want to
when you're
learn.
young, your brain just sucks it right in. It just can't
That's
wait.
true.
And now
That's
it's like,
true.
I hate this. I don't hate it now. I want to learn, but I got a bad memory. Probably from stuff. I don't know. Anyway.
We know what that's from.
Yeah. Brain rot,
listen,
pretty
but-
much.
But the system.
She says
it- The system does
crime, with the
work.
bad
Oh,
negative things
sorry.
that are going on. Why is it
I had
so
a good point to make
preposterous
too.
that we would want our
Oh, I want to
students
hear it.
to have the option to have some good principles instilled in them? If they
But-
don't hear it at home, let them read it in the classroom. It's no
I
different than
didn't-
the Mayflower Compact, which is mentioned in the document as well. I don't understand why.
Now, what was it, Big Bad
She's
Mama?
about to go. She's
Oh,
about
well,
to
I
go.
was going to say the system works until you get someone in there like Trump, who didn't even win the popular vote, but yet he is able to make how many Supreme Court nominees, put people in the Supreme Court? Were there 3 during his tenure? 2 or 3?
Yes. But,
And so he totally skewed the court. He totally skewed the court toward the right wing, and he didn't even win the popular vote. And that's why the electoral vote, the Republicans have not won a presidency since, I think, George Bush Jr. won one.
Yes. George Bush Jr.
Legitimately.
He won the popular vote. The thing about it is it wasn't even Trump that did all that, though. It was Mitch McConnell.
Yeah.
It was Mitch McConnell. And
He just sounds like a jerk.
he is a jerk. He's my senator. And
Good.
believe it or not,
Hey,
I
click
write
that
him.
comment so you can see our names on the bottom.
I don't know how to
In case
do
they
it.
don't know.
I don't know how to get it
You
off
don't?
there.
It should, on the chat, on the top of the chat, it should say like it should have like a little clear box that says comment, remove comment, or something like that. I don't remember. I was just there in my own, and I don't remember. There you go.
Hey, okay.
Yay.
Perfect. Now we
I'm
can see.
sorry, this is not.
Now everybody will know who. Now we'll know who everybody. Everybody will know who Big Bad Mama is.
Yeah, it was Mitch McConnell did that. And he took the last year that Obama was president, when Kennedy died. Wasn't it Kennedy? Scalia. When Scalia died.
I'm like, dang, Kennedy died and Obama was president. I
not
don't
President Kennedy. There was a Justice Kennedy too.
Just a Kennedy.
Okay, my bad.
But Scalia, when he was found dead in the hunting lodge or whatever, he went on a hunting trip and they found him dead in the hunting lodge. But he didn't actually go bird hunting with
Dick Cheney.
So he didn't get shot in the face by Dick Cheney. But it was a year before the election was going to be. Now, he knew Obama was not going to be president again because Obama was, a two-term president. And so he was going to be, we knew that he would not be president, that Obama would not be president again because he had done serve just 2 terms. But so Mitch McConnell decides that no, he's not going to let Obama name a Supreme Court justice. Then at the end of Trump's term, Ruth Bader Ginsburg dies. And he brushes through Amy Coney Barrett.
Right.
In fact, early voting had already started in the 2020 election when he pushed Amy Coney Barrett through. Okay, this is a man who is running a Senate, who is dominated by a party who represents the minority of Americans. Okay. And they are the ones that are confirming the justices who are being nominated by people who represent a minority of Americans. It's just unbelievable. And I don't know how we're ever going to straighten it up.
And they put in 2 extreme Catholic justices.
Well, seven of our justices right now that we have sitting on court right now are Catholics. This is something that I don't know that I think the evangelicals thought all the way through on this. because there's always a history of once that the Christians are in charge, then they're going to fight. They're going to fight over who's going to be in charge, the Catholics or the evangelicals. And so we have 7 Catholics on the court right now. We have 1 Jewish person. We have 1 Protestant, which is Brown. She's a Protestant. She's a Baptist. Kagan is a Jew. And the rest of them are Catholics. There's 7.
Yay.
There's 1 liberal Catholic and 6 conservative.
No atheists.
Oh wait, I can't stand Catholics. That's right. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, but the thing about it is I really don't think that the evangelicals thought this all the way through.
Sounds like a good lineup.
They've created a court of nothing but Catholics.
I'm just messing with you guys, right? I'm just trying to trigger you, trying to make DVM laugh.
I mean, I just there's always been a battle between the two.
It's hard to make a joke of it because they overturned Roe v. Wade, and it's.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I didn't know that's what you guys.
No, that's okay. Yeah. I still thought your joke was funny, but
what did she
that's
say?
why it got overturned, because of the addition of these others extreme religious, especially Barrett. I mean, she's an extreme Catholic fundamentalist.
It's these conspiracy theorists that are causing this. It's people like Alex Jones and stuff like that. They are the ones that are making these guys radicals. I'm telling you.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think Catholics have always been radicals.
Because think about it, all the Christians were fine. When all this stuff was getting passed and everybody was doing all this. I've been a Christian and I've actually went to these places with my friends, Like
Christian,
I don't have anything. I'm not telling anybody to stop doing anything. But then when you start watching these conspiracy theorists, it gets it in your mind that, oh, Satan's taking over and this is bad and everything is bad. And all they're doing is taking like secret societies and organizations like like most cops are Masons, Freemasons, I don't think they're bad guys, but they cannot talk about what goes on in the Mason Lodge, right? Because it's a secret and they take advantage of that and make people suspicious of them,
What?
That's what I think.
Cops are not Masons. My papa was a Mason.
All I'm saying is they're using that. They're using that to make people paranoid. These conspiracy theorists are doing that. I'm telling you, that is what's causing all this.
Well, but Trump,
they're terrorists.
Trump was the main conspiracy theorist, and he's the one that empowered these people to be able to come out of the woodwork, which they were always there. And when he said about a Nazi rally that, oh yeah, there's good people on both sides, comments like that empower people. And then the whole January 6th, it was just filled with Proud Boys, and he knew the Proud Boys were there. He knew they were armed. He knew what it was all about, and yet he stirred them up. I mean, and that's what that previous video, I think, Robin, that you showed pointed out, that, yeah, these people came out of the woodwork because Trump empowered them and gave them a voice. And I agree, Alex Jones is part of that, but Trump also gave Alex Jones a voice.
See, I think my ultimate theory is that it wasn't Trump at all. I believe it was him, obviously, but I mean, I think it was Jared Kushner that used Alex Jones and that whole conspiracy community and used it to Trump's advantage, because Trump said himself that Jared Kushner single-handedly won him the election. And then isn't there some job that he had that he was supposed to work with a group of people and he couldn't get along with them, so he just did it by himself? And it's like a job in the White House you did by yourself. I'd love to friggin' know how that happened. Like why?
Like Jared Kushner was he wanted to make him. He was going to put. He couldn't even pass the security checks. You have to you have to go through security. You have to get checked for, and you're not allowed to see privileged information if you have any security questions. You know, what I mean, we've been doing this for years like this, and Kushner cannot even pass them. And here's another thing: is that Trump? There's a woman. There's a very rich Jewish woman who has donated to Trump's campaign.
Well, Jared Kushner is a
and
Jew.
she promised
He's a practicing
him.
Jew.
She promised. He's Jewish. Yes.
Yes, I know.
I mean, he is his children, his grandchildren are Trump's grandchildren are Jews, and
think
but
about
they,
that. Trump is a Proud Boy. I mean,
they
I
are.
don't know.
They are going to. There's a woman who has donated to Trump's campaign, who Trump promised her that the United States would support Israel in destroying Gaza and taking it, annexing it for Israel.
And where did he move the embassy to? Didn't they move the embassy
to Jerusalem?
From Tel Aviv, I think, to Jerusalem.
Yes,
he's a practicing Jew, and he's up to something. That's all I know.
Well, and he made a deal with the Saudis for millions of dollars.
He's up to
Jared
money.
Kushner.
I think he's the smartest person on earth right now. I honestly do. I think he's the smartest person on earth right now.
Who?
Because Jared Kushner.
He's a criminal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. He's friggin' evil.
His dad was a criminal.
Yeah, and that's his problem too. He's got hate in his heart or something. I don't know. Over his dad. I'm telling you,
just the most malicious person on earth.
Watch. Yeah, I'm not saying he's good. I'm not saying he's good. Just because you're smart doesn't make you good, right? Like you can be a genius and be evil.
Doesn't make you smart either.
Well, no, but I mean, if you can, he won the election himself. I mean, think about how much steam Trump had behind him. And then look, that's what Trump said himself. He said that Jared Kushner single-handedly won him the election. Just listen to him talk. He's very smart.
How many people do you think Trump supporters voted for Kushner?
None. He's not in the public eye, right? Like he is in the public eye, but I mean he's not the star because that wasn't his point. I think he actually got Trump and used Trump because I think Trump just wanted to be famous. He don't know what the hell he's doing. He doesn't want to be the president. I mean, come on. The guy likes to call women fat pigs and stuff. Like he don't want to be the president.
Yeah, he wants. Well, he don't want to do another work, but he wants to be president now because he can pardon himself.
He used him, I think. That's why he married his daughter. Yeah, that's just my theory, though. I'm just some dummy on the internet, so you don't have to listen to me. But he is very intelligent, and I'm not saying that as a brat. I'm not saying that like I'm complimenting him. I'm like, smart. You can be dumb and still be good or bad or whatever, I'm not.
Well, I mean, I don't want to I don't want to sound like that I'm anti-Semitic over Kushner.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying that. See, that doesn't make sense to me. Just because I'm saying something about a person and their actions, and then he just happens to be a Jew, is not anti-Semitic.
Yeah. Okay,
I don't understand that. Like, I am not trying to be anti-Semitic. I'm saying he's a practicing Jew. That's just a part of his life.
He's I think is he Orthodox?
I don't know.
I think so.
By the way, today the Supreme Court in Israel ruled that Orthodox people can be drafted into the Israeli army too.
And then
they have been allowed.
Sorry,
they were allowed to be. They were allowed to be. They were given like. They were given the right not to be drafted into the army in Israel. If they were an Orthodox Jew, you could get out of serving because they had forced, servitude in the army. And so, but today the Supreme Court in Israel ruled that no, they don't get out of that anymore. So
that's why America is so awesome, because we've tried to keep it neutral in the government, where we don't force people to do, because that would make a person want to be an Orthodox, right? There's lots of people that'd be like, I'm going to be an Orthodox Jew because I don't want to go to war, like I don't want to go to do whatever. They teach their women from a young age how to use a gun over there too, how to shoot and how to you know, how to carry it and all that, which I think is awesome. But it's kind of
because
sad.
they live in a country where they're surrounded by people who want to kill them.
Just like the Bible says.
Well, I mean,
Yep. Oh, that's right. It's fake. It's not real. That's a fairy tale. They just happened to get it right. Nailed it.
They got some things right, but they missed so many others.
Well, that country was created by the United Nations. I mean,
geez. Oh, they did it to make the Bible true.
well, in some ways, I would say, yeah.
You know where
yes,
do you know
Miss
where
Maud.
the United
Miss Maud.
Nations headquarters is? Oh my gosh, where is it? It's
In New
somewhere
York
over
City?
there. It's where Judas hung himself or something.
Oh,
I
It's in
heard
New
that could
York
be not
City.
real. That could be not real, but
Come
not
on.
It's
I
in
mean
New
over there. I mean
York
over there in the Middle
City.
East. Like we have, you know, places over there too. Hey, I'm serious. I don't know. That's just what I heard. It could be not
United
true, but-
Nations headquarters. is in
United
New York
Nations,
City.
the United Nations logo is the flat Earth map.
The United Nations headquarters is in New York City.
Okay, well, I'm just saying that's what I heard.
Every
I
map
just
is
said it could
flat.
be not true.
I mean,
yeah, it
so
is.
they had to put if you have a map of the world, it has to
Could
be
you
flat.
imagine that? Could you imagine that? Like back in the day, remember how they used to have maps like just spread out in the front of the car, and Dad would be trying to figure out where to go. Just imagine if it was one of those balls that you open and it just spreads open, you know? Guys, we got to get out to look at this map.
PC, no.
Yeah, I do. I didn't research that because it doesn't matter to me. But
You should watch that Professor Dave
for asking,
Whitsitt debate, Maud.
I've heard
about
of that
flat
guy.
Earth.
I've been hearing about him lately. Is he
Professor Dave and Whitsitt. It's a really good flat Earth debate, and Whitsitt gets
mean.
destroyed.
Yes, well, it gets destroyed. All right, let's go back and watch the rest of this
Okay.
video.
Yeah.
This is so preposterous, and that litigation is being threatened. It doesn't scare us in the state of Louisiana. We say bring it on.
Because if someone has a home in which they choose to believe something different, which is welcome in this country, it's literally why people fled to come here to found this country to begin with, then they should be allowed to. And it's not really an option if you're requiring it to be put up in the wall of the classroom. What do you say to the parents of students or even teachers who don't share your religious views?
Don't look at it.
What would you say if your child had to go to a classroom in which the five pillars of Islam were required to be on the wall? How would you?
Okay, so what y'all think about that? Don't look at it.
Ridiculous. I mean, just
Is
don't
that
have it
not a
there.
woman
I
who
mean, the
has
bottom line is it doesn't belong there, and neither does anything to do with Islam or any other religion. I mean, that's what the separation of church and state is. So she's completely wrong, and she's kowtowing to her religious voters by doing this, and thinks that this is going to get her reelected. Probably will.
Yeah, I agree. It's popular right now to act like that. And for some reason, a lot of our country has given up on the idea of democratic norms. They've given way. I mean, when you poll Republicans now, at this time, they poll very poorly when it comes to confidence in democratic norms, confidence in elections, confidence in institutions, confidence in just everything that our, it really killed me, because when January 6th happened, I thought this is the end of the Republican Party or Trump. This will be the end of it. There's no way that people will put up with him doing what he did. And they did anyway. And I just, I just blow my mind because, and then I got to start looking at the numbers on how weak democracy is amongst these people. And
It's because they're losing elections. And if they would,
yeah, it's not just Christians. It's right wingers, yes.
right.
But it's
But
not
if they'd been winning elections, then they would be all for the democratic process. But since they're losing now, they're getting more desperate. And Trump has been bad for their party because we have the subsequent elections which have proven that, where they were expecting a red wave or whatever, and it never manifested. And they're going down with the ship, basically. They're tying themselves to this guy who is a complete narcissist, a criminal, a lifetime criminal. I mean, he's been a criminal his entire life. He's just been called out more recently. But it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. That one that book I was talking about, it goes into like when like in 2024, this election right here. This would be the first election. This was a estimation. So I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's close. This should be the very first election that we have where white Christians are a minority in the United States. And it's like,
yeah, they're dying off, right? I mean, they're dying off.
In 2017, it says that they were.
So yeah, I don't want to say anything bad about Christians anymore. I mean, I've already said enough bad things.
But I'm just saying though that this is, this voting group. There are so many people that have tied their religion to their politics.
Yeah.
And I see it. We can watch it on YouTube. We can see the preachers preaching it, saying,
right,
you cannot vote Democrat and be a Christian. That's what Greg Locke said. Just plain English. And so this voting group, whether they're all Christians or not, are losing their power.
Yeah.
And they are holding on to it with this
right.
violence, with this misinformation, with this hate. It's just,
and people think they have equal power, but they're just louder. I mean, and this person that we're watching is a perfect example. She's just loud and extreme.
And knows nothing about the Constitution.
Most people don't agree with what she's doing.
And she knows nothing about the Constitution.
She is really pretty, though. Look at her hair; is really pretty.
Let me see.
Big Bad Mama's gonna be like, "Oh, it's fine. We can keep him in there now," because his natural instincts are still gonna kick in.
The guy's hunkier.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I guess so. He put his wig on upside down, though.
Again, this is not about the 5 pillars of Islam. This bill specifically states the 10 Commandments. It is a historical document.
I'm presenting you with a hypothetical that would help you put yourself in the shoes of someone you may not understand and their point of view. How would you feel if you walked into a classroom and something you didn't believe in was required to be on the wall? You can answer that question.
I appreciate you, Chris. I cannot sit here and gather and fathom what you could give me 1,000 hypotheticals. But again, this specific bill applies to this specific text. The Quran or Islam, that is a very broad statement. We're specifically talking about a limited text on, mind you, a piece of paper that's not much bigger than a legal sheet of paper. Some kids might even need a magnifying magnifying glass to read all of this. This is not so preposterous that we're somehow sanctioning and forcing religion down people's throat. I've heard the comments, and it's just ridiculous.
I mean, a requirement is a requirement, right? Your law mandates a specific version of the commandments be posted. Here is one of them. I want to share it with our viewers. It says, quote, "Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his cattle, nor anything that is thy neighbor's." I'm wondering why this specific version of the commandments was selected.
So the reason why for that is because it is the most historical reference. It is one of the original translations into the English language, and to preserve the actual history of the document, the drafters of the legislation felt that it was very important to maintain that historical context and that language that portrays it in the best historical light possible.
I'm in no way diminishing anyone's beliefs. I don't think that my personal beliefs are important to this story, but I do have to point out and ask you about the fact that religious scholars don't even agree who wrote the Ten Commandments, where or when they were written. Does that not give you pause in any way that this comes from a religious document and not from something that's based in secular agreement or in a doctrine that a group of people have come to accept, something like the Constitution?
Look, religious scholars may not agree, but I'm going to tell you right now, Louisiana in both houses agreed, and we passed this legislation. Look, Louisiana is not California or New York. It may make people uncomfortable in other states, but in this legislature this year, it was a resounding acceptance of this legislation, and that's what's most important.
What should a teacher tell a kindergartner who asks what adultery is?
Well, the teacher should be able to have an appropriate response, which is to tell them, look, guys, this is a historical document that's posted on the wall to remind everyone of good morals, good principles. That
Back to the same question, though. What is adultery? She literally just did not answer the question. I hate this. I do not like this at all because I think, doesn't matter.
You're right.
This guy is destroying her. I mean, this guy's doing a really good job.
If you haven't noticed, she has never had a guy fight her before like that. Like this is new to her. You can tell.
And she's this woman is an attorney. Okay. She is not an uneducated woman. This woman is an attorney. She graduated from Louisiana State University.
Well, yeah, I guess that's a good job. That's a good job.
She stepped out of Louisiana onto the national stage, and now she's getting what everybody thinks about this.
Law school, law school is hard. I mean, it's not.
Yeah, but she's a religious zealot still, even if she went to law school.
Like it. I mean, I look at some of like Ted, Cruz and stuff like that. Ted Cruz is an extremely well-versed constitutional lawyer who to me seems like just a total moron. And this woman does too, right here, I think. But
yeah.
Well, he could be, maybe he's got a lot of money and I'm telling you, it's just one person. Like if she, I'm just going to shut up. You're right.
So I think,
you're right.
Ms. Imad, you made a good point there that she hasn't come across this type of scrutiny before because she's used to just arguing these things in Louisiana where she's not getting much pushback. Yes. And now she's on CNN or whatever this is, and the guy's asking her questions that everybody should have been asking her all along.
Exactly.
And what the thing about it is this is not. We are called the United States. We are the United States. We are not 50 individual states who do what the fuck we want to do. We are the United States of America. We are united. That is part of it. If we could have survived as individual states, we would never have formed a union. And
I know, man, just think about how complex the government is. I mean, it's just amazing. How it works.
And Louisiana is one of the states that probably
in the competition keeps them fair or keeps them honest. right? Like the competition between the three keeps it honest.
There shouldn't be competition. They should all be working for us.
It has to be, because if you had one, then they would just take over. It would be way too tempting. And they would they would want power. But see, with three, it's easy to get two,
Yeah, it's
right?
checks
Like
and
you could possibly get
balances.
two. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. It's awesome. It's really smart.
But it's not
Whoever
working
came up with
because
it.
they've infected every single one of the, when Trump
Well, the
was in
good thing
office,
about it,
they had
the good
infected
thing about it is people die, right?
every single one. They've got
So, and everybody's got a different agenda and reason why they do the jobs that they do and stuff,
Well, I mean, I would agree that everybody has an agenda. I agree that some people have an agenda of equality, fairness, freedom, and then some people have an agenda of maintaining power where they don't have it. And
that's what I love about America too, is that there could be some bad guys in there doing all kinds of bad stuff, but there's always going to be that one guy that's going to be like, I don't like this, I'm snitching them out, and
Yeah, I mean, most of these people are representing their wealthy support lobbyists and supporters. They're corporatists for the most part, unless you get a really progressive liberal. That's there are some, but most of them are just representing the elites ultimately in Congress, especially for both parties. I'd say for both parties, one party more than the other, but
yeah. Well, see, that's the good thing about being evil and having evil intent is, it just doesn't have that much steam. It only lasts for so long, and then they die out or they get caught or something. I don't know. I think that it's really awesome the way it is, and I agree that we should be keeping it in check and making sure that they're doing it right. But I think we should try to keep it the way it is because it works better than anywhere else, right? Like we need the justice system, and we need I understand what you guys are saying too, though, how these guys get in there with their money, because money is always going to be there. It's always going to be the root of the situation, I guess. And I don't want to say the root of all evil or anything, but of many kinds of evil or whatever Mark says, whatever. It is. All sorts. I don't know. Anyway. Well, I think I'm going to jump off, guys.
I'm glad you came.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so
Robin,
much.
how much longer are you going to go, do you think?
I don't know. We just kind of got on a rabbit hole here.
She does what she wants, so
yeah,
don't worry about that.
Why are you in a hurry?
I'll go to the end of this video.
Okay, I will too then.
All right. Well, we'll go watch the rest of this.
Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not lie. These are important things. I think that in the state of Louisiana, we have echoed a strong voice that we believe that faith is a very important part of history and the founding of this nation. Again, we've got it posted in historical buildings all over the place. I don't understand why this is such a shock factor to the nation that we would somehow do this. I'm proud that in the state of Louisiana, we're leading the charge on this, and I'm proud to press the button in favor of that bill.
I guess the argument is that you could teach morals without getting into religion. I have one last question. State Representative, will you come back when this gets taken up at the Supreme Court?
I'd be more than happy to have this conversation with you again, Boris. Maybe I'll get some of those dollar bills in my pocket one day like you on CNN so I can remind myself. God.
I wish you wouldn't make it personal, because it's not. It's about the story. It's not about me, and it's not about the amount of money in my wallet. State Representative Lauren Ventrella, I very much appreciate your time. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Boris. I appreciate you.
She's angry.
She was so disgusting there. Like,
She's
why?
cringy.
Critics of a new law say that in Louisiana schools,
she's definitely
the line
angry.
between church and state
Yeah.
is getting...
It's just like me, or anybody else. Like,
Yeah,
I
she's
take it as an
cringy,
attack
cringy.
whenever somebody says something against the Bible. And, I just now realized
Happens
that.
to-
And I hate that about, I was going to say myself, but I just cannot stand that about myself, really. But it's really hard. Like, how in the world, because it's offensive, I guess. But she was yeah, she had never even heard anybody say any of those points, and I've heard it, and I don't even advocate for the 10 Commandments going in classrooms, you know.
Well, see, okay,
I'm
like
just
the 10 Commandments, the first four, or first
I mean,
three.
how
if
many
you're-
women are running their state?
or
Are there
first
all women
three
in
or
the Senate
whatever.
or
It
whatever?
doesn't matter. Women are no more apt to want the 10 Commandments than men.
I'm just wondering why somebody didn't stop her and say, hey, and you know, somebody, you know, she had to write the whole thing. You know, did she ask for advice? You know, somebody else had to look at it. I mean,
There were
there was a
plenty
lot
of
of
men behind. There were plenty of men behind this.
Well, what
Yes,
what
yes,
else was
yes.
going on then?
The Federalist Society and the all that, they're all men, mostly men.
Because how did
It's
she
not a
not
big
hear any of those points?
bunch of women that are, you know, don't know how to run anything, and
Well, it's
this
a
is the
bunch
only
of-
thing they know how to do is
I'm
put up this
asking-
10 Commandments thing.
Our First
I'm just
Amendment.
asking, it's
Our
either
First
that
Amendment
or
goes
it's
against
men,
the First
pigs,
Commandment.
men that are getting something out of it. I mean, how many of them though? You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, why did no one brought this up to her? No one said,
nobody
hey, you
brought it
know,
up
we
to
might
her.
want to respect other religions.
No, they don't
Not-
even.
Her voters like this, believe it or not.
There's
That
a lot
is
of people like this.
insane.
Have you been to Louisiana?
No, I haven't. No.
PC's from Louisiana. PC
But-
can tell you a lot about Louisiana.
But still, there isn't one person in Louisiana that was like, hey, man, I don't like this. You know, like,
Well, that
it's
doesn't
just
matter.
weird to me. It's just,
They
it
don't
almost
care
seemed-
what. There's only a few people in Louisiana that matter in their,
But
in
Robin,
their eyes.
how did they get these things in the classroom and nobody said any of these points to her on her way there?
They did,
You know what I
because
mean?
there's nobody to argue. There's nobody in. Okay, they have like, okay, Louisiana has one of the most gerrymandered.
That's sad. That's really
like,
sad. I think that's why they're the kids are in poverty or whatever.
She had the votes to get this done.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's like if everybody's frame of mind is like that, and there's not even any not competition, but what do you call that? When, just like I was saying earlier about the government, how you have three different people, and then they obviously aren't going to agree, so it keeps them honest. You know, like what do they call that when there's like a McDonald's and a Burger King? And anyway,
Competition.
yeah, I guess we just call it competition, but there's no one there to refute or to argue with them. I mean, dang, that's crazy. That she
Now
just
you
thought
know
that-
why we do the stuff that we do sometimes as atheists. We don't like to see this stuff.
Yeah, that's bad. And see, I don't
This
agree
isn't
with that.
the
I
only
think
case of this going on. I mean,
she wants to hang up the 10 Commandments, do it outside your house. And you know what? That friggin' guy made the best point in the end when he said, what are you going to tell a kindergartner when they ask you what adultery is? Exactly. Why are you putting the 10 Commandments in a child's classroom? They don't understand that. That's for their parents, right? Your parents are the ones that teach you the rules and what you can and can't do. I mean, you know, that's it.
I almost
right
said,
there.
why don't you ask Missing Maud?
Seriously, like that is so yeah.
Here's what
It's bad.
here's
Kids
where
don't
the-
do it.
Here's why they're
Breaking news into CNN, the Supreme Court is allowing Louisiana to redraw its congressional map, a very real and immediate result.
This is
From
why
the justice's surprise opinion against Alabama just a few weeks ago. CNN's Manu Raj, what just came down?
Louisiana. So bad.
Well, Kate, this is actually the Supreme Court sending this dispute over Louisiana's congressional maps back down to the lower courts. What's likely to happen in the lower courts is that the court should order these maps to be withdrawn. And this is significant because this is yet another voting map that's been disputed by Black voters as being a violation of the Voting Rights Act, and the Supreme Court acting to change the way these maps are drawn. Because remember, earlier this month, the Supreme Court ordered Alabama congressional maps to be withdrawn. So now they're ruling that a lower court must retake up a case about a Louisiana map that was similarly disputed as violating the Voting Rights Act because in particular, these Louisiana maps, they currently only have 1 out of 6 voting districts, congressional districts, that are majority Black. And the argument here is that Black voters make up 33% of the state's population, so there should be more voting districts that are majority Black. So, Kate, when the lower court looks at this case, they'll likely order the maps to be redrawn in accordance with the Supreme Court's decisions. What you're looking at right now are old maps that were drawn by Republicans. Presumably, both of these maps will be thrown out, despite the fact that they were used in the 2022 election, and then redrawn in better accordance.
Yeah. Okay. So
Gerrymandering.
Over 30%
I don't understand what that
of
means. What are
over
they
30%, over 30% of Louisiana is Black. Okay.
Yeah.
Which means like 30% of all of their elected officials should have been elected by Black voters.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. But gerrymandering, Miss Maud, is where they draw the maps so that they draw them in weird ways so that they can water down because a lot of the times the Black population will live in certain areas.
Yeah.
They'll live in, and so they'll split those areas up into very small little areas and put them into other districts, like separate districts, so that they don't have any voting power.
Okay. Wait a minute.
And that's called gerrymandering. And what it is there was a guy whose last name was Jerry. And he is actually the person who came up with this, that started doing this.
So what
he
is
was
the
from
goal?
Ohio,
of
I
it?
think.
And how'd they figure it out anyway?
The goal is to be able to elect white representatives.
Okay. Yep.
And-
I just
and
figured.
both parties
That's
do
what I
this.
thought you were trying to say, because they figured it out because in these majority Black places, there's white people representing, right?
Yes.
Is that what
Well,
you're trying to say?
right.
Okay, that makes
Exactly.
sense now. That's what I
And
thought.
Both parties do this.
Right.
It is practiced by both parties. It is significantly, though,
That
benefits.
sounds pretty bad. I mean, they would literally have to be, because even if they redraw these maps, aren't Black people still voting in Black representatives? I mean, does that mean that
they don't have.
lying?
I mean, they don't have a lot of times they don't have anybody that's running, for one thing.
Oh, okay.
We don't even have Democrats that run here in Kentucky. For like my congressional district, there is no Democrat that runs. Never.
Hey, Robin, do you know who Jim Jordan is?
Mm-hmm.
Can you bring up Jim Jordan's map of his district? And it show is that possible for you to do that?
Yes,
If you just
I
put
can, yeah.
Jim Jordan district map, and it's a perfect example of gerrymandering. You'll see that what the shape of this map is. I don't know if it's
Yeah,
on- it'll-
Ohio. I think
It's Ohio, yeah.
Jerry. I think Jerry was from Ohio, wasn't he? The guy that started this. That they named it.
That
after.
I'm not positive.
I think he was from Ohio.
Now I don't know if this will be on YouTube or if maybe it would have been better to get an image, but
Oh,
do you know what I mean? A Google image of it.
I'll look it up really quick and then bring it up.
Good. Thank you, Mud. Jim
Okay.
Jordan district map.
Okay.
Because you'll see how crazy this map is.
Okay. let me see.
And this
I'm
guy,
sure.
Jim Jordan, is a complete scumbag, by
can
the
you
way.
share it?
Yeah. Hold on one second.
Yes. Yes, he is.
There we go.
So, okay,
You just gotta, yeah.
there we go.
Yeah, so just
Which
click
one?
on that first one there, that green one.
This one.
Yeah. So look at that. That's the map of his area. And they've made that specifically so that a Republican can, and as Robin said, Democrats do the same thing. But, why not just have a square for your area?
Yeah, right.
I mean, look at this
And
thing.
see, and the Voting Rights Act says that that black people have to be able to elect people that are
That they want.
yeah, and
Yeah.
because we historically didn't allow that, and so that's why the Voting Rights Act says that specifically, and they get away with this. They get away with this gerrymandering, and now the Supreme Court has said that they don't actually have any authority to prevent gerrymandering.
Mm.
And see, now that everybody knows and has seen this map, that pressure is going to be on him, because people want to, there's a lot of people that want to be honest and they'll snitch you out, like
I don't know where
you're
they're
gonna
at.
get, you're
There's
going
a
to
lot of
come
people that don't. There's a lot. My parents are
only for so long,
My parents are Republicans, and I thought that they were loyal to the Constitution. I thought that they were pretty honest, fair people. My dad was a basketball coach. We had black players that played ball for us that used to come to our house and eat dinner at night. And my parents could care less about the racial inequality and the fact that Trump is trying to throw out our judicial that they took over. They don't care that Alito and Thomas have took over our Supreme Court and are handing out.
Well, your parents are a lot older than you, so they've probably seen all this stuff before, They just don't want to stress. I don't think it's that they don't care. It's not that they don't. It's not like a hate thing,
since the
but
Civil War, not
they,
quite.
They got other things they're stressing about, Like, oh, I've seen a president be an ass before, They probably just don't care because of that,
Well,
I don't think it's like anything
they're
bad.
not caring for whatever reason. It's sad.
Yeah, but what's their caring gonna do though? It's gonna stress them out.
It's
It's gonna
vote.
stress them out.
I mean,
you care enough for them.
Their vote. They have 2 daughters, and
Well, do
they have
vote?
and they have 4 granddaughters. Okay, they have 2 daughters and 4 granddaughters that are women who are second-class citizens now because of their voting habits, and that does not.
So you're
affect
saying
them.
they vote just because they're whatever party?
They vote Republican. They vote conservative. They vote. My dad's very anti-abortion. My mom is probably not as much anti-abortion, but she's still going to vote Republican. But
well, then there you go.
They have 2 daughters and 4 granddaughters.
And that's why they're against it.
Who are? Yeah, they're against what?
Abortion.
They have 6 daughters or granddaughters, 6 daughters and granddaughters who are women who could die because of abortion being banned, and that's why they're against it. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, it's because they love their children.
That's not.
And
that's
what they relate it to.
You don't want them to die from needing an abortion.
It's not called abortion yet.
It is too.
I'm just saying that's terminology.
I don't want to argue about this. I'm just saying, your
Why
parents are
you?
probably good people, really good people. They are good people because you're awesome. Tell them I said
Well, I
thank
think
you,
they're
by
good
the way.
people too, and I'm straining to really understand what the fuck is wrong with them. Because because it seems like that there's a whole lot of people in this country who I know personally who are good people.
You know what? Didn't you say your
Who
parents
are
are Christians?
good people who I've
They're
known
just
all my
loving their
life.
family. They're just loving their family and having enjoying their life. That's all they're doing. They don't want to stress.
But how are all these good people making these horrible.
I'm talking about your
choices
parents.
for other people.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
I get that.
It's
I mean,
just-
you got to look at the big picture. You can't just look at your own family.
Yeah. Well, I was just trying to defend Robin's family since no one else was. No.
I wasn't saying anything.
Well, I mean, they're good people, and that's what I'm saying. Though I'm surrounded by a state of people who are good people.
They got one
I've
daughter that's a
known
little out of
all my
control. That's
life
it.
that are good people. We have friends on the internet that we share, streams with, who are good people, who are totally opposite of like me and BBM's voting habits. You know what I mean? I don't see you. I don't see you, Mr. Mott. I
don't know.
You have. I don't think you spend a whole lot of time sometimes thinking about some of the voting things, and you don't vote. You
No, I
say,
don't.
right?
No, I let the men handle that.
Wow, they're doing
Sorry.
such a terrible job.
I don't know. We just seen one that was a woman that wasn't doing too
I
good.
know, but look at the fucking country.
Someone needs to stop her.
Look at the job our country
Especially if
did.
they're pretty, especially
When
if they're
men were
pretty.
running, we had slavery. When only men could vote, we had slavery.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't agree with that, but I'm sure the person that started to free the slaves wasn't a woman, was it?
Actually,
Oh, there were a lot
abolitionists.
of abolitionists
Yeah.
that were women.
Yes,
for sure.
and they were Christians. They were Christians, and so were all the slave owners too, Christians.
Well, they call them concubines now, so we're good. No, pretty much. I'm
Still
I'm
getting
just
over
aware of
that.
No, I'm not. No, I'm happy about that. I'm not mad about it.
Yesterday you were headed to DAL, and now you're on another
I know
stream.
because you didn't hear my conclusion how Peter D. Tucker.
I did.
Yeah,
I'm just wondering
he
why
just-
you let these religious people bother you to the point of where you judge yourself like that.
Well,
Yeah, are you back friends
because
with
I don't
Steven
want to
and them
be
again?
I don't want to be an adulterer, like I don't want to do that.
You're who you are.
That's
You're
bad.
you're just
I
a
know.
person. Like you're just who you are. You're not if somebody labels you that, fuck them. Sorry.
Yeah,
Anytime,
really.
yeah, but you know how bad it makes me look whenever I say I have a married boyfriend and don't explain it. People are like,
You don't
"Oh, you're
have
a
to
freaking
explain it to
homewrecker."
anybody.
It ain't
I
nobody's
know, but I
business,
don't want
Miss
people.
Maud.
Your first assumption is going to be that I'm, sneaking around with some lady's.
That's not
husband.
people's
not.
first assumption. People like you as you are. You have a lot of good qualities, and people like that. They're not like judging. Oh, is this the person that lives with the guy? Nobody thinks that. And if they do, it's like that's their problem. That's them judging you, and they're assholes if they do that.
Who's a big? So, are you friends with Steven and them again? Are you hanging out with them again?
No, I haven't been over there. I told him, that I was sorry about betraying them and telling their secret, but it is kind of disgusting that they were married, It's like, wow, you did that to me and you didn't even apologize for all the very, very mean things, and mean-spirited actually, because the spirit behind that was very angry and was trying to hurt me very bad.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
I felt that.
it was very ugly.
And he justified it. Achilles justified it for calling me crazy and a loose cannon and all that stuff. And it's, even if I am going through a mental breakdown, why would you ever make fun of me for that? Right? Like my parents just died. I'm going through emotional stuff right now, and they have no sympathy for that at all. And it's like, I don't expect anybody to. Nobody owes me anything, but they're
it
pieces
was
of
ugly.
crap for
It
the
was
most
very
part.
ugly. It was
Consider
very
the
don't hate it.
source. I mean, you're talking about two guys that believe the world's going to end any time now. It's just full of the wackiest ideas. I mean,
And one of
Achilles
them-
is just a wacko.
And one of them thinks he's been anointed by God, and he could.
He cursed you with
curse
Jesus,
people.
I remember.
He put a curse on me. I mean,
I never thought about it like that until you said that.
I mean,
I
just
assume he thinks it's a
lunatics. They're
curse.
lunatics.
Right.
Remember your comment, Robin?
And I
Remember
actually
your comment about the
watched
porn bomb?
Huh?
You said it wasn't. He probably thinks it was me that porn bombed him. And to be honest, I wish it was.
I wish it was. I didn't even have a computer to do it with, but I wish I knew how. But I wouldn't do it anyway because I don't even watch his stupid show.
Right.
And I'm not
People
gonna
say
go
porn
even
bombs,
hang
though.
out
That's
on
not
his
good.
show.
Hell, Al just got here and said hell. Wait, maybe not.
Because
just
I
got
don't
here,
think I don't think that either one of them have anything to contribute to my knowledge at all about the world, anything. I mean, I just don't feel like
Right.
either one of them
Right.
have any knowledge that they could share with me that is of any value
Well,
whatsoever.
one of them's trying to take down the King James Bible, so that's a good quality, I guess.
Well, I mean, he can
Yeah,
do
for
whatever
you
he wants
guys.
to do. He's
Except
not gonna-
Dan.
I'm in
Dan's
Kentucky.
the only one that has something to offer me.
Yeah,
I'm in Kentucky.
Dan's
Nobody's
awesome.
taking down the King James Bible in Kentucky. Okay.
Achilles
I
is
mean-
coming. He's coming for it.
Well, he's in Greece. He's a long fucking way from Kentucky. They would throw him out of Kentucky real quick.
Well, he picked the right channel. He's going to be everywhere.
Kentucky would eat him alive if he came there.
Yeah, we would like turn him into we would stew him into moonshine.
Barbecue him.
Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh.
most people in Kentucky could not pick out Greece on a map.
I'm not from Kentucky.
But
Those people
probably
don't care about you, Maud.
Thanks.
You can
Well,
pick out Greece on a
I'm
map.
just saying they're
What you're
not
saying.
they're not your friends. If
Yeah, I'm
they did that to you, they're not, and they did do that to you. They're not your friends. So
No, they what they want to do is they want to make you feel bad for hanging out with atheists.
right,
That's what
exactly.
they
Yeah,
like to
which
do.
is-
They like to
which
they
is
like
like-
to give you shit over that you hang
Look,
out with
hanging
atheists.
out, hanging out with some of these atheists makes me feel bad enough. Come on, guys. No, I'm just kidding. I love you
We're
guys.
on- Why
That's-
we
I'm
don't
kidding.
try to make you feel
She's
bad.
kidding.
Never. I know you guys are awesome.
We try to.
That's
build you
why
up
I don't
some.
like them, because they're all you know, they went a whole day without smoking a cigarette, so they think they're holy. You know, it's like
We're
get
Debbie
out of here with
Downers.
that. yeah. What you're doing is a sin, and it's like, hey, what are you hiding behind your back there? You know, like just let me see.
Right. Just don't let these
hippos,
people that are judging you like that affect you that deeply. I mean, you let it like get you down to where you were really sad yesterday and you shouldn't have been sad.
I know, I was very sad.
Because of some asshole saying something about you. And, you know, it's whoever's, you know, people that are judging on marriage and divorce to begin with. I don't care who they are, if they're my friends or what, they're wrong.
It was
They don't
mostly
know
my own.
each relationship is, you know, runs on its own merits or what have you. And it's between you and the person that you're in the relationship with. It's nobody else's business. And certainly not somebody that's quoting the Bible at you.
See, I read the proverb of
Sanctimonious
the day wrong.
idiot.
I read it the wrong way. See, I couldn't remember exactly what Stephen said. He taught me how to do that, like to read the proverb of the day. And I read the wrong one. And when I seen adultery, I was like, you know, like I was telling Stump before, whenever I read that, I self-reflect. You know, I'm not thinking about, how I can pin this on somebody else tomorrow and make them feel bad about being, you know, and tell them they're not a real Christian. I'm thinking about it like, I don't want to be this person they're talking about. And the Bible warns about these bad, evil women out there. And that's not a joke. Like they're, I'm telling you, there are some, because women can just, a woman can talk a man into something a lot faster, right? Like, and all these guys think I'm nice too. They're like, oh, you're so nice. I don't know why people don't like you. I'm like, okay, well, go ask Big Bad Mama. He knows I'm not nice.
Miss Maud, women are not more evil than men.
They just let me get away with it, you know, and let me
women are
just
not more
ignore it
evil
or
than
something. I
men.
don't know. Huh?
Women are more evil than men. No.
No, I didn't say that. I'm saying we have a prettier exterior, so we get away with it, right?
Oh, what I
and
wanna
then
know is-
we aren't
okay.
fighters. We're not getting out there, you know, jousting with each other and stuff like that. So we have other ways of combat, right?
In the Old Testament, though, it says, "Thou shalt not commit adultery," except for in the Old Testament, they were allowed to be married to multiple wives.
Well, see,
Okay.
that's the thing. That's it right there. Peter Tucker caught that. Mark was reading something and he caught that. And he said, wait a minute, they're only saying if it's hidden from the husband or hidden from the partner. Yes. And I'm like, when I thought of that last night, I looked it up, and adultery is when it's being hidden. His wife knows, right? Like, and she has an old man too. So, I mean, it's like that just totally changed my whole attitude. So it was more of a self thing. I was really beating myself up because I don't want to be that person
until Paul.
I'll be a concubine. That's
Christianity. There was no one wife thing.
And I was afraid.
And I think Paul is the one that doesn't Paul make some kind of, in the New Testament, make some kind of thing about being married to one woman or something. But
yeah, that's to be a preacher or something, I think, but I don't know. I have no clue.
That's the problem with Christians trying to apply Jewish law.
Well, see, and then I don't know, right? Like, I don't know any better, but I didn't realize that, it's okay if you're fine with it, right? Like, if your husband's fine with it, or, he's like a freak like that, or something, something weird's going on there, or something normal like this situation, it's totally fine. And actually, I told him I didn't want him to get a divorce because it's a covenant between the two of them, and it's important when it's read in front of your father. Hold on a second.
No.
It's just nobody's business.
I've been married twice, and it's of no value, no covenant, no worth and shit. His dad was there the first time. I was
when
married,
you got married,
and it means no fucking more than any other.
It's important for the woman. It's important for the woman because you're basically you were transferring power over that person. This is your person now, right? Like, that's basically what it was.
But
this is my daughter, and I'm giving her to you, and that is the best way to do it. It's romantic. My dad, first of all, my dad was a total screw up, so he couldn't have picked a man for me at all. That's why I've just had the worst freaking men in my life, pretty much. But a good man that is a good father would pick an awesome husband for her daughter. Like, my old man now would pick the best husband for his daughter because he loves her. A girl isn't looking at it that way. She's
Why would anybody want their dad to pick their husband?
Well, I understand that now it seems very strange, but I'm saying back in the day, it was normal back then because a father is going to pick a good husband.
How
right?
did a father know?
Pick some piece of shit. But then you got bad guys that are picking, because some guy gave him money or.
How would he know? How would he know?
Well, he would know better than she.
How would he know if he was a woman beater? Well, how would he know?
I'm sure there was some kind of vetting process. I don't know. I don't know all the details of it. I can just imagine. I can just imagine.
I have to tell Al Trucker, Covenant is a trucking company in USA, and yes, it is a Christian-owned.
Would your dad have picked the husbands you had, Robin?
No.
And
I would not be married to his people.
He would have been boring, and it would have sucked. It probably would have been very bland, and because he wants you to be safe. He loves you. He cares about what's.
Probably wouldn't have been any better. That he probably wouldn't have done any. He would have had money. I did. He couldn't have done much worse, though. I will say that.
There you go. My dad could have. But see, even then, even though my dad wasn't a very good, example, he still he wouldn't have picked the guys I picked. I can tell you that now. He would have picked somebody that I probably wouldn't have liked, but he would have taken care of me and made sure I was safe for the rest of my life, So, I mean, that's the benefits of that, I think. Now, I know it sounds barbaric and it would be just crazy. That would never happen today, but that was the point of it, I think. And see, back then, your daughter was, it mattered who, it mattered all that, if they had money and your security and do we get along and yeah. Anyway. Oh my goodness, my aunt drive me crazy.
You used to the vetting process was whoever had the most goats and stuff.
There you go.
Back then, in the Old Testament,
money.
Like you traded your daughter for goats and things like that.
Yeah, it's the dowry.
Yeah, because now they're going to be your family. You don't want some piece of crap, If you're their dad, you're like, I don't want this loser around my kid. I don't care how cute he is,
All right, well, we're going to close this down.
Okay.
And
yeah.
because it'd been on over 2 hours. I know BBM said he was wanting to go, and you said you was wanting to go, and
Well,
Thanks
we
for
all
having
agree.
me on.
I won. Okay. We
huh?
agree. I said don't. I said we agree. I won, right?
You
You
won
were the
all.
loudest.
And all. You are
I'm
the
sorry.
winner.
Was I for real?
Mrs. Ma is
No.
the winner. They've grown
Yay.
across the Covenant Trucking Company.
That was a
They
good
are.
Oh, wait.
discussion.
Yeah, it was. Oh, wait. Yay! Wish Logan was here.
How do you do that?
It's on OBS.
And see, you are so talented. You can work tech stuff like
Mark and Peter know how to use OBS way better than me.
well because they've probably been doing it longer.
Yeah. I just don't care that much, probably. I just do what I can, and then if I learn something new, it's awesome.
What was the contest? Look at her jumping around. Al said. I don't even know how to make my person move. I don't know.
You better keep your eyes on the road, Al. Oh, he's probably not driving.
Nothing like
I think
and BBM with his beer cans in his hair.
Did you see my
Yep.
thumbnail the other day? Did you see my thumbnail the
Yeah.
other day, Rob?
The frog.
Yeah. I did a second one too that had better cans in their hair.
Didn't you take all your videos down again, or
No, they're back up.
okay?
No, yeah, I'm telling you.
Why do you keep taking your videos down? Oh, I'm sorry. I guess we're ending the stream.
Well, because I thought that, like I was telling Christian, I felt like hazardous material, because I'm like, what in the hell am I doing? It's a long story, but it's
Very
a
emotional.
good one. Yeah, I am. I'm telling you, it's got to be. I'm not sure exactly what it is or why, but I can cry and just I could be crying like a baby and then just start laughing about something, and it's because my mind goes to different places. When I think about something, it makes me laugh. I laugh. I'm not like
you do know that crying releases endorphins.
that is
It's
why I
good
do
to
it.
cry sometimes.
Yes.
That is why I do it, so I can get high. No. That would be something, right? Oh God.
Thank y'all for
All right.
coming.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me.
Bye,
Have a good
Mom.
night. Bye, everybody.